Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here, welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to paint a spring greetings card with a couple of new techniques in it that I haven't really used before for painting florals, and so hopefully you'll enjoy that. And first of all, before I start that, I just wanted to show you these two books that I've just received from Amazon. Canson XL, I've been using them for a while, actually the small one. It's this one that I've been painting in for the last couple of months, and you will have seen and done some of these, no doubt. But I decided I wanted to get the bigger one, and because I'm getting somewhat towards the end of this one, look, only got about another 8 pages, I thought I would take the opportunity to replace it with another one like this, and also to get the bigger one, which is A4 size, which is 8 by nearly 12 inches in size. It's the same paper. It's a multimedia paper. That means you can use any kind of paint on it. You could use acrylic, probably get away with a bit of oil if you wanted to, but it's absolutely brilliant for watercolour. It shows up the colours really nicely, especially digitally. So if you photograph your work and you put it on online, on Facebook or anywhere, or if you want to reproduce it in any way, have it printed or anything, should you wish to do so, this paper is particularly good at giving you nice, bright, clean colours. So I'm very, very pleased with that. So I just thought I'd let you know about that, and I'll put the links in the description below. But today I'm going to paint in the existing book, this one. And what I thought I would do is I'm going to paint a sort of spring design on here. And then my suggestion would be that you would cut it out and mount it on a card, because otherwise you end up wasting half of your piece of very nice watercolour paper. So you can get some of these inexpensive Strathmore cards, which has a nice texture, and you can paint on it. But yeah, it makes a better painting if you paint on this, I think. So you could just do your design and then cut it out and glue it onto there using Mod Podge or something. So that's what I think I would do. And yeah, so let's get started with painting. Here I've got my 48 set of Kuretake paints, which everybody's bored stiff with, probably by now. But you can't do better than this. You can't, sorry, Winsor & Newton. I would love it if you would sponsor me, but you won't, so there we go. Actually, I'm not sponsored by anybody, so don't take any notice of my ramblings. They're just ramblings of an idiot. Didn't Shakespeare say something about that? Yes, I'll have to look up that poem on Shakespeare. Anyway, so we're going to use these colours here. This is cadmium yellow, cadmium orange, burnt sienna. This, I don't know what they call it. It's dark brown. It's like burnt umber, olive green, and red. So we're going to use those colours. I don't think I'm going to be using very much red, but the other ones I will be. So I'm using a size 7 Draw Well Maestro Round. I could just as easily be using a Princeton Aqua Elite size 8 I have here. You could use whatever you have. A round brush ought to be good enough. And what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to draw freehand. I'm not going to do any sketches. I'm just going to, I have an idea, I've drawn it out, practiced it on another piece of paper, and I'm going to try and more or less reproduce it. I've put water on all my paints here, which I hope you can see, yes, and quite a lot of water actually, because this is a, what do you call it? This is a loose not loose, no. This is being painted with a high ratio of water to paint. So when I pick it up and put it down, it sits up. Can you see that? So you've got a lot of water in your paint, so it sits up above the surface. Not sure how to show you that, but I think you can see it's running. You can see the beads running as I do that. So that's what you want. So you need a fair amount of water in your little doobry, and this is one of the reasons why this particular set is so good, because it works very well for this. So then you're going to pick up some quite wet paint. You can mix it with a little bit of orange if you want. And then I'm going to paint very wet a stem like that. And if it's not quite wet enough, I'll drop some more paint in. And then I'm going to paint some leaf shapes. Very wet. You see that? See how wet that is? Very, very wet. There's a reason for this. And I'm mixing yellow and orange a little bit. Then I'm just going to drag the paint in lines like that. This is just purely graphic. Not that kind of graphic. The kind of graphic that is not realistic. Okay, so that's a piece of graphic. And then you can pick up some darker brown and put it in places. More than one shade of darker brown if you want, and you can let it do whatever it feels like doing. You can lift the paper up and let it run a bit more, and it'll only run where the paper is wet. So you can do it like that. You don't have to do that last step. You can just leave it wet and let it do whatever it feels like doing. And then the next thing I'm going to do is paint some very, very loose flowers. I'm using cadmium yellow. And I think we'll have 5 petals. And then I'm going to put some cadmium orange in on top. And we'll just let that do its thing too. Then we've got olive green here, I believe. So let's put some big old leaves here coming down with just a touch of yellow too, cadmium yellow. And we'll put the leaves in first and then just drag the stem down. This one's a bit too dark, so what we'll do is we'll use that paint for another leaf. And then we'll put one in here that's a little bit more yellowish. And you can do the same thing as you did on the open leaves if you want. Pick up a darker colour and just drop it in a couple of places. If you feel like unifying yourself up there. And meanwhile, we'll use some of that brown in the middle of the flower. Voila. And then let's do an orange one up here. There we are, nice and uneven. And then we want a little bit of red in the middle there because we need the next colour up from orange. So this one had yellow and orange. This one's got orange and red. I did use a little bit of it. Then we put some brown in the middle. Don't bother too much about anything particularly careful. And then we'll do another one here, maybe from the side, like that. And then the rest of the space that we've got there, in just a second, I'm just going to if you find it spreading a little bit too much, I've done this trick before, you've seen it often. If it's spreading a little bit too much, just stop it in its tracks. And put a little bit more orange in there. The less you can mess with it, the better. Okay, and then we want some more green leaves, empty leaves, I call these. So we'll put, and we might want another one on this branch here. But yeah, these empty leaves are quite stylish, I think. And make some of them go partway over, that's to say partway off the paper, for example. And you can put them everywhere. And then we can pick up some brown, and we can do some brown ones too. Same idea. And then you can have, for example, up here, you could have something hanging off the edge. If you think it's a bit too dark, as I do, press the paper towel on it, you get a nice texture. Palette, yes, whoops. Palette. Let's have a leaf coming on here, maybe two. And then this one obviously needs a stem, maybe a couple of leaves here, and maybe another leaf or two here, just to fill up the space. And then what you want to do next is, what we're going to do is we're going to put some fillers. I don't know what they call this in the world of design. I'm sure they've got a word for it. So just some of the spaces we will fill up with nice dots. It does something to the eye, I think, so that, I don't know, it just makes it a little bit more artistic. There we are. And then what I'm going to do is dry it off and come back and do the next thing. Okay, this is dry now. So first of all, before I do the next thing, I'm going to just put in some dots using my white pen. This is a Sigmo gel pen, Sigmo Uniball Sigmo, and we'll put in some irregular veins in these here leaves. They come out irregular because the paper is textured, but that's okay because I think that looks fine. And if you used ink and a pen, you know, a dip pen, for example, you'd get a different effect. And wherever you've got something nice and dark, you can add some light like that, which is quite nice. You can also, if you want to go ahead and embellish the whole thing, you can do lots of other things. You know, you can do your spirals and things like that on your circles here, if you feel that they look better that way, and so on. That's it's definitely an option. And maybe it's a good idea just to do a few of them like that. And then you can, what I wanted to do with this one, because this is meant to be sort of greetings card for people, I'm going to take my Winsor & Newton Sepia, this is a 0.3 pen, and I'm going to write some words on here. And I'm going to just do them in my scruffy handwriting. I'm not going to try and do calligraphy or anything like that, because I'm not a calligraphist. But I've got a little verse from Shakespeare here, which goes like this. And what you do is you just meander it around the page. So you might want to turn it like this, and then you go, and all the sweetest flowers that grow. And then the second line is have all in my garden a show. There we are. So that's our message. The second part of that verse is, and when the sun shines out so bright, the colours of them shine so bright. But I don't think we need to do that. I think we're just going to leave it as it is like that. And then the next thing to do is to take it out of here, mount it on a card, and Bob's your uncle. So I shall do that, and I'll show you the end result in a second. So there we are. I have mounted it on the card, and now you can write your greeting on the inside. And I'm sure you'll find a much better way of developing this idea, but it's an idea, and particularly like the idea of the loose open leaves. I think that's very artistic, if you like. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give us a like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and go along and join Patreon, because you're going to get all our entire catalogue of videos ad-free over there as we begin to upload them. I think we've got 100 or so on there now, or something like that. And you can also join our private Facebook group if you're a member either of that, Patreon, or else of YouTube membership. And then you can take part in and share on there, take part in our monthly challenges. So I will let you go, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.